Hey, what's up, everybody? It is time for the 11th Hour Gaming Channel, and I am your host, AJ Gills. It is currently, well, by the time you're watching this, Friday, October 16th. I'm currently recording this the night before on Thursday, the 15th. So I have time to time code the video, make sure I get all the topics, and down in the description below, there will be a list of the topics I cover, the times that each topic's hit. So I just want to make sure that I have time to do that and upload it, because by the time I had the last video uploaded, it was like 8, 9 o'clock. So I'm going to be doing these all the day before. This will especially help me out next week with Assassin's Creed Syndicate coming out. And a little word about that, I will be doing a kind of like a day one review in progress of that. I'm going at midnight to get the game. I'm going to come back home, play it, get up in the morning, go to class, play some more, and record kind of, my initial thoughts, and kind of do 1 or 2 videos like that throughout until I finish the game and can do my full review. I'm trying to think here. Also tonight, Thursday, my review of the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection should go up. Fantastic collection. If you didn't play the original trilogy on PS3, I'd suggest playing it on the PS4. Fantastic game. I'm trying to think what else. Also down in the description below are links to the Facebook page, my Twitter account, and website where all my reviews go up. Please follow me on Twitter. Like the Facebook page. If you like the video, and subscribe to the channel. Spread the word to all your friends and whatnot. Thank you if you were here last week and saw my last video. If you didn't, understandable. I'm new at this. Basically, what I'm doing right now is like wrap up of this week's news in the gaming world, and kind of on that, I'm just going to kind of jump right in. Start off with a little bit of tech news with Dell acquiring EMC for $67 billion. This is the largest tech deal in history. I believe shares are $22 per. I believe that's what the stock price is going for right now. That's not bad. And also, a wireless Xbox One controller adapter for PC is coming this month. I believe October 20th for $25. It must be compatible with Windows 10, and this is also not compatible with Xbox 360 controllers. I guess now, out of tech news, going into games, on the Xbox One, Just Cause 3's install size has been announced, and that will be 42.49 gigabytes on the Xbox One, and the PS4 and PC storage spaces are unknown at the time. It wouldn't surprise me if they're somewhere around that. Going on now, talking about Just Cause 3, just because I really want to talk about this and the hilarity that is this game's big kind of contest surrounded with it. If you haven't heard, if you get Just Cause 3 and are at the top of the leaderboard at the end of 90 days, Square Enix will give you one of two things. They will either give you $50,000, or, and this is the kicker, this is why I actually want to see somebody pick this option. I want to see you're an idiot if you pick this choice. It's absolutely hilarious. An island equivalent to $50,000. Now, I'm speechless already to who would pick a $50,000 island. I mean, I have no idea who would pick a $50,000 island over an actual $50 cash. That's a weird choice already. But some information on this island is we do not know the location of this island. So right off the bat, that's a little where the hell is this thing? Number 2, the island's size is not known. They make no promises that this island can be accessed by anything other than a boat. So it means you probably can't drive or fly to it. And finally, this I think is the funniest part of this just ridiculous contest, and that is they make no promise to whether or not the island will be inhabitable. It will shock me to see who would pick the island over $50,000. I have no idea. I am baffled. This is a hilarious contest. If you want to take part in the contest, though, Just Cause 3, I believe it's out December 1st. And if you want to take part of this, you have to buy the game and be at the top of the leaderboard after, I believe it's 90 days. So if you want a shot at winning this mysterious island, no idea why, but who knows. Along the news of install sizes, the big Xbox One game coming out later this month, Halo 5's install has been announced at 60 gigabytes. And this is huge, but everything I'm seeing out of this game is looking fantastic. If you haven't been listening to it, listen to or go iTunes. I don't know what it is for Android, but go to podcasts and listen to Hunt the Truth. Oh, it's such good fiction in the Halo universe. Season 1 is about 13 episodes. They're about 15 to 20 minutes long. Just great Halo fiction. They're in season 2 right now. I think they're about 5-6 episodes in, and this series will go all the way up until Halo 5's release, and basically is kind of prepping for the story of Halo 5. Also in the news for Halo 5 is the game went gold last week. So we're getting really close to when this game's going to come out. Sorry about that. Moving on, Destiny Microtransactions. This has been talked about a little bit. We've started to hear that Destiny's getting microtransactions. Kind of what the heck does this mean? Apparently, this is. Let me read my notes here. The fees for these microtransactions and what these microtransactions are. You can go to the PlayStation or Xbox store and purchase silver, and then you can take the silver into the game and buy emotes. I'm gonna call it an MMO for what these kind of games are. This microtransaction isn't bad. It's not like pay to win or anything, but this is a very, very, very slippery slope if they go any farther with this. But let me see here. Basically the silver can be bought, obviously, with real world money. It is 500 silver for $5, 1,000 silver for $10, and you also get a bonus 100 silver with that purchase, or 2,000 silver for $20, and you also get a bonus 300 silver for that. Bungie also announced that throughout this week they were going to do drops of silver out in the game, just kind of spread the word that this is a thing. As far as the emotes go, there are 18 emotes in all. 2 legendary and 16 rare. To buy all would cost about 4,200 silver, and that's around $40. Moving on. This goes with the recent Battlefront beta that was just out. DICE has admitted that the rebels were at a disadvantage in the Walker Assault mode. They are currently working on fixing this issue, and basically they're just working on balancing along with what player feedback is. Sorry. Going along with this beta idea is the Doom multiplayer closed alpha. The sign-up is open, not the actual alpha itself, but the sign-up for this alpha. Currently, we do not know what the start day is, but we do know it will be one map of 6 versus 6 team deathmatch. Moving on to a topic I talked about last week, and if you didn't watch last week I was talking about how funny I found this Treyarch's marketing stunt with the new Call of Duty game coming out, where they switched their Call of Duty Twitter account to to current events aggregate, something along those lines, and were tweeting and releasing tweets about terrorist attacks and a bunch of stuff like this in Singapore. Wow, I think some people figured out, oh, this is a joke, but we're retweeting it. People are going, what the hell's happening out in the world? Apparently, Treyarch this week has announced that they are shocked at people's reactions to this. They have currently come out and apologized to anyone who took offense, and Activision itself has not released an official statement concerning this. Actually, in an interview with IGN, Jason Blundell of Treyarch basically said, sorry for what happened, but he did not expect all of this to blow up as it did. As he put it, they were waiting for this is all kind of leading up to a big release, not of what the story is, but just kind of like here's what the fiction's like, and kind of new story trailer and whatnot. I'm almost speechless with this. How did they think this was a good idea? I'm still, this blows my mind. Granted, Blundell also says that he's not in marketing. That's not his department. He works strictly with the story. But how did their marketing department not think that this was going to be bad? I mean, you're tweeting out fake terrorist attacks and wondering, why are they all pissed off? What? Why? What? I'm at a loss for words. Why did they think, they just, without prefacing any of this with, this is fictitious, this is really nothing. I'm speechless, but this story, it gave me a good chuckle, and I think even this, and I'm surprised Activision itself has not stepped up to say anything about this, or at least officially. But in the same interview, Blundell also talked about the fact that this Call of Duty, and this is fairly interesting to me, will actually be the first one to feature a female protagonist. If you haven't heard, apparently this game you will select one of multiple protagonists for the game. I don't know how much this changes the story. I didn't play Black Ops 2. I loved Black Ops 1. Didn't play 2. Probably won't play 3. It looks great. The aesthetics are really nice. That's all I have to say about this. But it's really refreshing kind of seeing a female. A female character come and take center stage in a Call of Duty game. That's a little interesting. Apparently, the reason for this is kind of as a response to there are more women modern day in the military, not just as supporting roles, but but actually being in combat. And I think that's very, I want to say, forward thinking of them to include female protagonists in this game. Good for them. Oddly enough, though, the campaign, the script for Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, it was inspired by the movie Alien. I don't know, that's interesting in and of itself. The final, one of the last thing that he was talking about in this interview with IGN was that Blundell was talking about the future of Call of Duty, and where is it going? Are they going to continue doing all this futuristic mech stuff? But he gave people like me hopes who really want to see this series go back to World War II, and as he put it, that it's possible that they'll go back and do a World War II game, which I think will just look great with the PS4 and Xbox One. I'm sorry, I own a PS4. If it's not obvious, I sometimes think that's the only one. But I think on the next gen consoles, it'll look great. Who knows? Maybe by then, PlayStation VR and I want to say it's the Oculus. I think this would be this franchise would be really cool with the new VR technology. we're gonna just kind of have to wait and see what goes on with this. But he says for them to do a World War II centered Call of Duty game again, he wants to try and tell a different story, or maybe not a different, I guess a different kind of story. He wants to focus more on kind of like a different take on the people or the war. This is really cool for me. I think one of the first games I actually played was, or it's still one of my favorite games, is Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1 on my PlayStation 2. Fantastic game. Love it to death. I also remember playing the old Medal of Honor back when it was good. Now some, I guess, smaller news, I guess, is what I'm getting into. Batman and Mortal Kombat X, or 10, whichever you want to, have both hit 500, have hit 5 million total copies sold. This is not between them. This is each game has sold 5 million copies. And this, I'm a little surprised the Batman hasn't already hit that. This seems like a big number, though, for a Mortal Kombat game. I've played both of them. This is also a big win for Warner Brothers, who I believe published both games. Yeah, they're the publisher. If you haven't played either of them, Batman, fantastic story, great evolution from Arkham City. The big open world of Gotham is it's really fun to play. The combat's still really smooth. It looks great. The characters are very done. Mark Hamill, again, does a fantastic job reprising the role of the Joker. In this one, actually, I think he had a little bit more of a fun job in this one, because I don't want to spoil it, but so if you don't want to hear this, skip forward a little bit. Mark Hamill actually take the Joker, as opposed to being a physical villain in the game, is inside Batman's head. So you see him like he's hallucinated everywhere, and he's just. I think this allows him to be a lot more comical and funnier. This could be a really cool. Yeah, it was just a really cool way of telling this modern Batman story. Really fun game. And also Mortal Kombat X was actually much more cinematic than it has been in the past. It had a great story. You saw a new generation of characters. You saw descendants of like Kung Lao, and you see Cassie Cage, who is Sonya Blade, and Johnny Cage's daughter. Johnny Cage, my favorite character, had the best best fatality of the game, where he spins the guy around, goes into his back, opens him up, and says, "Here's Johnny." Absolutely hilarious if you've seen The Shining or know that joke. But I will definitely suggest play both of those games. In other news, Epic Games is apparently betting big on virtual reality. There's if you want to read more, this was a very long article, and it would probably take way too long, and I would not do it justice to sum it up. So if you are interested in what Epic Games is looking to do with virtual reality, check out at IGN this article written by Mitch Dyer. Also, you can find him on Twitter at Mitchy D. Really funny guy. I also follow him on Twitter. Also, Witcher 3, the big game. Personally, my pick at the moment for Game of the Year will have, if I can read my notes correctly, the Witcher 3 Hearts of Stone box set is delayed in North America by a couple days. This is just due to some logistical errors. So those of us in North America can purchase it in a couple days late from retailers such as GameStop. I believe the box set contains Witcher 3 along with the Hearts of Stone expansion, and a physical copy, like 2 actual physical Gwent decks. And if you haven't played Witcher 3, the first thing I have to tell you is play it. So good. You really don't have to play the first 2 games. I mean, there are references and whatnot, but I mean, you really don't have to. But play the game in and of itself. Gwent is very fun. It's like a weird mix of poker and a trading card game, and it's in its own way. It's really complex, really fun. Fits very well within the world of The Witcher. I cannot say enough good enough good things about The Witcher. I'm so excited. I still myself actually need to get the Hearts of Stone expansion along with sorry, along with the next expansion. I can't remember the exact name, what the name of it is, but I think that one is scheduled for early next year. Don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure. Next, actually, I did kind of want to talk, kind of put on video some of my thoughts on the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. And also, like I said, go to the description below, hit the link on my website. By the time this video's up, my review should also be up of the Uncharted collection. I never played them on PS3. This is the first time I played these 3 games, and wow, right off the bat, these games became, I think, 3 of my favorite games of all time. They were just wonderful fun. I think a lot of people give Uncharted a lot of crap about being kind of like a Tomb Raider kind of clone, which I don't think is fair, just because, first off, Nathan Drake is a much different character than Lara Croft. I get kind of an Indiana Jones, I know this, again, a movie that gets kind of a lot of crap. I kind of see him kind of like Indiana Jones mixed with Nicolas Cage's character from National Treasure. And if anybody knows the TNT movie, The Librarian, kind of reminds me of the main character from that. Also, the Librarian trilogy from TNT, fantastic movies. If you haven't seen them, try and find them. It's really funny and very Indiana Jones. The first, in my opinion, I'm sorry, back to games. The first Uncharted game, Drake's Fortune, I think really showed its age and showing that it was it was an original PS3. It was a PS3 game originally. I think it shows in its graphics. Yet I think already at that time, though, it really showed a lot of really neat stuff in the facial expressions that I just don't think were shown a lot in that time. They showed so much, maybe not emotion, but like they made a lot of the jokes in the game a lot funnier just by the way you saw the face move of the characters. Control wise, the climbing and whatnot, there's not many ways you can do that and make it feel fresh and different, but it fit it fit. And I had this problem through all 3 games. Sometimes the camera angles did get a little annoying, or sometimes it wasn't clear what you had to jump to or onto or what. But still, the game was a lot of fun. The shooting is your normal left to aim, right to shoot. It was weird that your R1 button reloaded your gun. I had to get really used to that. And what was it? X jump. I think circle put you into cover, and then the hand to hand was a little weird with you had 2 different kinds of combos. You had hit square 5 times or hit square triangle square, and at least for me, it never registered the square triangle square ever. And it was kind of weird. There was like stealth in it, but it didn't work too well. But in my opinion, a lot of these problems, I guess you'd say, were really fixed in the second game, which apparently, I was listening to podcasts, some people were talking about how actually the second one is considered not only the best of the franchise, which I don't necessarily agree with. I thought story-wise was, I don't think strong. I thought 3's story was much stronger than 2, but 2 mechanically worked very well. I think it took a lot of the stuff that I had problems control-wise from 1 and fixed. Maybe not fixed, it's the right word, but they polished it up, made it a lot more. It made the shooting a lot tighter. It was a very smooth game. It had a really cool story. You see the main character Nathan Nathan Drake, just really kind of maybe not expand as a character, but you really kind of see him not in a different. It's really hard how I want to say this. You see kind of a different side of him in this game. You see him a little more vulnerable, but he quickly made his way into probably my favorite video game character ever. And just I'm gonna go talk about the third one because I really want to talk about the third one. I just loved the third one. So a lot of people again have been telling me it's really kind of a different game, and I look at them and said I disagree with that. I think 3 was if 1 was the first, the original 2 polished 1. I think 3 was the natural evolution of what 1 and 2 were going to become. Your fistfights were much more cinematic with their combos and your countering, and like fistfights felt like fistfights, and you had this. It kind of felt more like a dumb action movie at times, which I have no problem with. I love dumb action movies, which 2 and 1 had those moments that it was just like, this is just so like I'm watching a Jason Statham movie. And, I'm like, I can't stop watching it, and I'm like, I can't put this game down. It's so much fun. But 3 had this really cool thing with its hand-to-hand combat. You don't have, say you don't have a main weapon, you have your pistol, but you run up to someone, you beat them up. Like their rifle flies up in the air. He just reaches up, grabs it, and you switch right into gunplay, and it worked really fluidly. It was a nice little slowdown cinematic. It was really kind of cheesy and corny, but at the same time was really fun. Really fun to watch. And it's a little thing, and it's really weird, but I love the fact that they added real gun sounds to the third one. The gun sounds in the second one and the second and first one it really sounds weird to me. I really like the fact that we have right sounding guns in the third game. But these are my opinions. If you have any opinions or have any opinions on how I can improve this show, yes, I'm putting this little plug into the middle. Go to the comment section below. Please tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you think about the Uncharted games. Tell me what you think about any of these topics that I have covered or will cover. Yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna get back into the news now. Moving on now. Apparently, select 3DS owners will get to play Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes early as a pre-release demo. I don't have a 3DS. I don't have a Nintendo console. I have one, not here at college, but I have one back home. I have a Wii, and I use it to watch Netflix. I'm not a big Nintendo guy, but I know how big Zelda is and its huge following. So I thought I'd put this little story in here. Apparently, this playable demo will have 1 dungeon, and it must be completed with 2 other people. But now, if you get say you get the code for the playable demo, you get 2 more codes that you can send to 2 friends who didn't, so you can all play together and play this demo. And the full game will release on October 23rd, and that is the same day as Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Which, fun fact, next thing I'm going to talk about is Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and if I seem really excited about that, that's because I love the Assassin's Creed series. Granted, Unity did not live up to what I wanted it. Syndicate's looking really good. I can't keep pitching that the most. And like I said earlier, I will be doing a video on that Friday of my initial thoughts and whatnot. But onto the actual story that I have about Assassin's Creed Syndicate. On October 20th, apparently 20 new unseen minutes of gameplay, and that's this upcoming Tuesday. 20 new unseen minutes will be live stream / showed in London. Apparently they're going to take a part of central London and turn it like into a Victorian era kind of thing, for this big event. They're going to be showing this gameplay in a Templar hunt mission, which is a little sub-mission within the game itself. If you can't, obviously you can't be there in London if you don't live there, and also tickets are currently sold out. But have no fear, IGN is actually, and I know I mention IGN a lot. big fan of IGN, but IGN will be live streaming the event 12 p.m. 12 p.m. PT, 3 p.m. ET, 8 p.m. BST, and 6 a.m. AEDT on October. And that last day is on October 21st. The first three are on October 20th, on that Tuesday. Sorry. And kind of this last thing before I get into this last chunk of news that I'm kind of saving for the end. Apparently EA is now focusing on new IPs with open world components. Now I'm excited about this. That, you know, I know EA recently had been listed, I think, as the worst company. At least it might be. Was that just in games or in America? I'm not 100% sure, but, you know, they've been getting some bad press lately. I think this is a good way to kind of get out of this. You know, like, this generation seems to be all focused on the open world games, and, you know, I'm very excited personally about the big one they're having coming out in February, the Mirror's Edge reboot. If you haven't played the original Mirror's Edge, I suggest going back and playing it. Great game. Reminds me a whole lot of Dying Light. Well, I mean, obviously, it's very the running mechanics in that game very similar to what Dying Light. It was kind of the predecessor of what inspired the running mechanics of Dying Light. There's the connection I was trying to make. I'm very excited for this Mirror's Edge reboot. Apparently, it's going to be an open world in which you can run around, and they're getting rid of the gun combat, which, okay, the gun combat was terrible in the first game. But, which, oddly enough, I was the one person who didn't really complain about that. I actually enjoyed it. I don't know, I'm weird. But, you know, they're focusing on, you know, all these new IPs, putting in open world components. You know, I'm interested to see what they're going to come up with, because thinking really EA themselves, as far as I know, don't have a whole lot of franchises that we really see. So, you know, I mean, some new IPs coming out of EA could be really interesting. Kind of this final chunk here, I'm saving a bunch of these here for the end, and this is all, and, you know, October is always connected with Halloween, and there was, in my opinion, a lot of news with zombie or horror games or all this fun stuff, you know, released this week. So I thought, you know, why not save these for the end, kind of do like a little Halloween special for you guys. And apparently, I guess to lead off, the big, as Shuhei Yoshida put it, the PlayStation exclusive Until Dawn, by the developer Supermassive Games, has hinted at a sequel for the game. If you haven't played it, a very, very good game. Originally, Dying Light was my kind of, I said earlier, Witcher 3 is my personal pick for Game of the Year. I think that's going to have a big, have a lot of contest between Bloodborne from earlier this year and Metal Gear Solid 5. I think any three of those are probably the big three that are right now, probably along with Halo, and Fallout are probably. I think those 5 games are kind of looking at. These are our Game of the Year contenders. And I kind of want to throw in Assassin's Creed just in the event that this one comes out and just blows minds. But Until Dawn was just, you know, I mean, it was talked about years ago as a PlayStation Move game, and then came now used the gyroscopes and everything in the PlayStation 4 controller. Really great horror, just so much fun. I can't say enough good things about this game. I love it. I think the campaign. I think I played through the story in about 9 hours. And the really cool thing about the game, it really invokes that old memory of Heavy Rain, where basically there's 8 main characters, and this is basically a teenage slasher flick. The game. So basically, all 8 of these teenagers who are up in this cabin, all 8 of them can die, all 8 of them can live, any combination. It's really cool. My personal favorite character is the one who, and I swear to God, looks just like Nathan Drake. Absolutely hilarious. Obviously they're hinting at so Supermassive Game. Back to the original topic of this, Supermassive Games is hinting at a sequel for this. My opinion, I think the sequel cannot continue with the same characters or location, but just after the story, I think they have a very good franchise that they can pump out every other year, every 2-3 years. This could be a lot of fun. I really hope that they do make a sequel and continue along with this as a franchise. As I said earlier, Bloodborne Game of the Year edition has been announced. Will come out in November 25th in Europe. I do not know a North American release date, but I'm going to assume it's somewhere around that November 25th. This will be the $60 game, along with the Old Hunters expansion. The Old Hunters expansion was announced earlier. I want to say I think it was earlier last month. No, this month. This month was. I'm sorry, I'm totally blanking on when Tokyo Game Show was, but this was announced at Tokyo Game Show. And on this kind of talk about expansions, Dying Light following the expansion to Dying Light has been announced for a Q1 release date of 2016. We do not have an exact month, but it's one of those first 3. If you do not play Dying Light, it kind of felt like I'm going to reference Mirror's Edge. The running felt very Mirror's Edge, while the combat and the weapon crafting and everything felt very Dead Island. All shot through first person, very fun parkour, running around. I love the idea that the zombies change at night. Just really fun game. Again, it's another game. I can't say enough good things about it. Originally was until I played Until Dawn. It was my dark horse. I kind of want to see this game. Because this game came out of nowhere and surprised people. And I don't think anybody was expecting this game, kind of like Until Dawn, to do as well as it did. I just want to see this game just kind of come out of nowhere, and it's like, boom, Game of the Year. I highly doubt it's going to happen because this year has just had so many great games. But again, back on I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I love this year. But Dying Light Dying Light following will feature new story in a countryside, and to explore this countryside, you'll have an upgradable and customizable dirt buggy, and the price for this expansion is at $14.99 American dollars. Let's look on here. H1Z1, I believe an MMO zombie apocalypse survival game, which is currently available on Steam Early Access, is having a new update this month. It will feature a medical facility to run around and collect supplies in, female zombies, ATVs, and an item exchange system. Now, this is basically, you can bundle items together, and it just makes trading easier. Sorry. I've not played this. Take this for what, however you want. This could be, I don't know. I've heard very good things about this game. I'd suggest going and trying it, like I said, on Steam. Moving on, going into another, I love this franchise. Resident Evil Studios, from Capcom, are apparently going to be focusing and putting a lot of their effort into trying to utilize these new VR systems that are coming out. I'm really hoping. I'm gonna look on the bright side for once and kind of say, I want this. Say this is gonna be good, because I really want them to go back and start doing games. People look at me not weirdly because it's agreed. Resident Evil 4 is a great game. People keep saying the earlier ones, I wasn't a huge fan. Each his own. But Resident Evil 4, I want them to keep that tone with that kind of game. I would love that on the VR systems. It would be so much fun. I'm really interested to see what they do. And I guess on that VR topic, I'm really interested to see what PlayStation VR is going to do. My only kind of thing that's kind of making me really excited for this is just this price point of it's going to cost somewhere what a new console is going to cost. So I don't know, until I get what the exact dollar and cent amount is, I'm going to be a little weary about this. But I think Resident Evil is one of the perfect franchises to go and use that VR tech. And I guess my final topic of the show is, and I find this so cool, a Friday the 13th game has been announced. No idea when it's coming out, where in development we are, but an announcement trailer has been released, and it is so cool. Apparently, the idea for this game is one person will play Jason. It will be way OP, while I believe 7 other players will play as camp counselors, and we can either work together or separately to escape and defeat Jason. I'm sold. I do not like these multiplayer exclusives. I'm like, this sounds like such a cool game. You know, they're talking that they're going to be like each character is, they're going to play heavily into the horror archetypes. You're going to have the jock and the this and that. They're kind of addressing that maybe it's going to earn its R rating. We're going to throw in, some obviously, all these old slasher flicks. It's always teenagers go and have sex, and of course they're going to get murdered by the killer. And that's what these movies are about. But I can't. There's so many opportunities for this game. I think it's going to be so cool. I'm just waiting for more information, especially release date of when we can play this game. And this actually reminds me of an older game, called. It was a mod for another game called Predator, or the Predator mod. Basically, what it would be, one person would be Predator, and 4 other people would play as Marines. And the only way to score points is to kill Marines as Predator. But the only way to become Predator is for the Marines to kill Predator, and the person who kills Predator then becomes the Predator. And then the 4 Marines try and kill the Predator while they're trying to kill the Marines. The same basic concept as what this Friday the 13th game is looking at. But I'm so excited. Because apparently you can, as Jason, you're going to get the classic machete, but apparently you can craft items or maybe fix a car to get away from Jason, or you can fight him, or you can, somehow fix telephone lines to, use that. Apparently they're working on some sort of play testing, and they're laughing that everybody's like, oh, I don't get why these kids in this movie did this. I just do this. Well, as they're putting it, it's really funny that they have somebody coming out of the woods as Jason, somebody's just like staring right at him, and it adds this really cool. Just because since Jason is another player, it's not a computer AI. You aren't exactly in its head. You don't know how it's going to think and how it's react. It just adds this new form of just horror and great idea to it. It's just gonna. I'm so excited. I'm waiting. I can't wait for more news on this. Go ahead and look it up. Friday the 13th. We don't know when it's coming, but it's coming. I'm so excited. That's all the news stories I had. Obviously, this is not all the news from around. If you want more either in depth or just more news in general, go to many of the great outlets. IGN is, like I said, my personal favorite. They have multiple podcasts on PC gaming, Nintendo gaming, PlayStation, Xbox gaming, just gaming in general. Fantastic podcasts. Also, I suggest going to check out from Kind of Funny Games, the PS I Love You XOXO and the Kind of Funny Games cast. This company, I believe, run by Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller, formerly of IGN. Fantastic, very funny guys. Great information on their podcasts. Obviously, then there's also OXM, Games Radar, tons of other sites. Keep following the news, keep playing games. Like I said, if you like this video, or like the video down, subscribe to the channel. Let's plays are eventually coming. Or if you just have any comments on any of the topics I covered, or just have anything that I can do to make you like this channel more, please go to the comments below. Write me some comments, please. I'm very willing for some constructive criticism, or pass the channel in along to your friends. Also down in the description are the Facebook, Twitter, my website, everything. Follow me, like me, do all that stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I'm out.